Karen reported Loiterer, but she was caught screaming slurs. The park was supposed to be a sanctuary, a place where kids chased frisbees and neighbors swapped small talk under the shade of ancient oaks. But on that sweltering July evening, Karen's piercing voice sliced through the calm like a siren, accusing a young man of loitering with a venom that made everyone freeze. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, her tirade would unravel into a spectacle no one could ignore. It started innocently enough. Marcus, a 22-year-old art student, sat on a bench sketching the sunset, his worn backpack slouched beside him. He'd been coming to this park for weeks, capturing the way the light danced on the pond. His earbuds drowned out the world, and he barely noticed the woman striding toward him, her purse clutched like a weapon. Karen, mid-50s, with a bleach blonde bob and a permanent scowl, had decided Marcus didn't belong. "This isn't your place," she snapped, loud enough to make a nearby jogger stumble. "You're loitering, and I'm calling the cops." Marcus pulled out an earbud, confused, as her finger jabbed the air inches from his face. The accusation didn't make sense. Marcus wasn't causing trouble, he was just sketching. But Karen's voice grew louder, drawing eyes from every corner of the park. A mother pushing a stroller slowed down, her brow furrowing. Two teens on bikes stopped, pulling out their phones. Karen, emboldened by the attention, doubled down. "People like you think you can just sit here, taking up space, making everyone uncomfortable." Her words carried a nasty edge, and Marcus's stomach tightened. He stood, holding his sketchbook like a shield, and said calmly, "Ma'am, I'm just drawing. I live 2 blocks away." That should have ended it, but Karen wasn't here for reason. She was here for control. She whipped out her phone, dialing 911 with theatrical flair, describing Marcus as a suspicious individual who was threatening the safety of the community. The crowd grew dog walkers, picnickers, an elderly man with a cane all watching as Karen painted Marcus as a villain. Her voice cracked with indignation, but there was something else in it, something uglier. "These people," she muttered, just loud enough for the closest onlookers to hear. "They come here and ruin everything." Marcus caught the phrase. So did the teens, who exchanged glances. One of them, a lanky kid named Javier, started recording. "Yo, did she just say that?" he whispered to his friend. The air in the park thickened, like a storm about to break. Marcus, still trying to de-escalate, raised his hands. "I'm not causing trouble. I'm just trying to draw." But Karen wasn't listening. She stepped closer, her face red, and spat. "You don't belong here, and you know it." The crowd gasped. The elderly man shook his head, muttering, "That's not right." Then came the twist no one saw coming. A woman in her 30s, pushing a wheelchair with a young girl in it, rolled up from the edge of the crowd. Her name was Lena, and she was Marcus's older sister. She'd been watching from a distance, hoping it wouldn't come to this. But Karen's words lit a fire in her. "Excuse me," Lena said, her voice steady but sharp. "But my brother lives here. He's an artist, not a criminal." "And what did you mean by these people?" the crowd murmured, phones now aimed at Karen, who froze, realizing she was cornered. Karen stammered, "I didn't mean anything by it, but the damage was done." Javier's video was already capturing every word, and the teens were live streaming to their group chat. The elderly man, Mr. Thompson, who'd lived in the neighborhood for decades, stepped forward. "I've seen you before," he said to Karen, his voice gravelly but firm. "You're always picking fights, stirring up trouble. Last month, you yelled at my grandson for skateboarding." Now the crowd's murmurs grew louder, a chorus of disapproval. Karen's confidence cracked. She tried to pivot, claiming she was just protecting the community, but her words fell flat. Marcus, still holding his sketchbook, opened it to show his drawings, vibrant sketches of the park, the pond, the very people now watching. "This is what I do," he said quietly. "I'm not hurting anyone." Lena wheeled closer, her daughter gazing up at Marcus with pride. The crowd's mood shifted. They weren't just spectators anymore. They were witnesses to an injustice. Then it happened. Karen, cornered and desperate, lost all restraint. "You people are always playing the victim," she screamed, her voice dripping with venom. The slurs came next ugly, hateful words that stunned the crowd into silence. The teens gasped, their phones shaking as they recorded. Lena's eyes widened, and Marcus's jaw clenched. Even Mr. Thompson, usually soft-spoken, shouted, "That's enough." The park, once a haven, was now a battleground, and Karen was the one who'd lit the match. The police arrived minutes later, two officers stepping out of a cruiser. Karen rushed to them, pointing at Marcus, repeating her loiterer story, but the crowd wasn't having it. Javier and his friends showed the officers their video, the slurs echoing through the phone's speaker. Lena spoke up, her voice trembling with anger but clear. "She's been harassing my brother for no reason." "He's done nothing wrong," Mr. Thompson added. "She's the one causing trouble here, not him." The officers exchanged looks, their expressions hardening as they turned to Karen. Karen's story unraveled faster than a cheap sweater. The video evidence was damning, and the crowd's accounts backed it up. One officer asked Marcus for his side, and he explained calmly, showing his sketches. The other officer took Karen aside, her protest growing shrill. "I was just trying to keep the park safe," she insisted. But the officers weren't buying it. They'd seen the video, heard the slurs, and witnessed the crowd's outrage. "Ma'am," one said, "you're the one disturbing the peace here." The consequences hit hard. The officers issued Karen a citation for disorderly conduct, but the real punishment was social. Javier's video spread online within hours, racking up thousands of views. The comments were brutal. "This is why we can't have nice things. Karen needs to learn some respect. Shame on her." Local news picked up the story, dubbing it Park Karen's racist rant. Karen's name wasn't just a label anymore. It was a headline. Her neighbors, once indifferent, now avoided her. The park, her former stage, became a place where she was no longer welcome. Marcus, meanwhile, found unexpected support. The crowd lingered after the police left, some apologizing, others praising his art. Lena hugged him tightly, her daughter giggling as Marcus showed her his latest sketch. Mr. Thompson offered to buy one of his drawings, saying, "You've got talent, son. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." The teens posted about Marcus's art online, and soon, he was getting messages from local galleries. What Karen meant to destroy, she'd inadvertently amplified. But the story didn't end there. Karen, humiliated and defiant, tried to spin the narrative online, claiming she was misunderstood. The backlash was swift. Her employer, a local real estate firm, issued a statement distancing themselves from her actions. Rumors swirled that she was let go, though no one could confirm. Her social media went silent, her profiles locked. The park, once her domain, became a symbol of her downfall, a place where justice, however messy, had prevailed. In the days that followed, the neighborhood buzzed with talk. Some defended Karen, saying she was just having a bad day, but most saw her actions for what they were, a power trip fueled by prejudice. Marcus kept sketching, his work now carrying a deeper weight. Lena started a community group to promote inclusivity in the park, and Mr. Thompson became its biggest cheerleader. The park was healing, but the scars of that evening lingered, a reminder of how quickly things can spiral when hate takes the stage. What do you think? Was Karen's outburst a one-off mistake, or does it reflect something deeper? Should she face harsher consequences, or is public shame enough? Share your thoughts. Let's talk about what's right, what's wrong, and how we move forward.